Hey, sir, how are you? What's wrong?
I'm sorry?
You say?
I'm still reminiscing the days of Oligot.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got it right here.
How's this gonna work?
It's gonna be tough to do Riverview.
Can't do Guastini.
That's correct, because you're St. Guastini.
So we're gonna continue both of them.
Tattrie, when you get it here, around here, Tattrie, Lacombe.
Comb. The one on, Osprey. I guess because it's, covering too much land.
2%.
It's our call, not his. Good. Okay.
See that big win this week? The big win we had this week?
Yes.
The Dolphins.
Yeah. Yeah. American. Yeah.
The lost
Well,
Of course we did. Of course we did.
yeah, Jane Argentine, right? The dog one?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both.
Yeah, we won the one with the dogs, right? Who rolled all that up?
Just put in, that you do a lot of business with them. Okay, that should be enough. If not, Jane.
Yeah, I thought so too. Yeah, I just find it interesting, you know.
Despite the interest described above, we are able to vote on this. That's a
Well,
Way
in this,
rare the Mike's decision is
in
that
this particular,
the town
this
is
particular case,
responsible.
you know, them buying flowers
I didn't understand.
is really not detrimental. It's not like they're looking for the change in color of the sun.
You said I didn't pay a fee, I didn't pay a fee.
Yeah, I thought you had to pay a filing fee. You didn't pay the fee.
Check him, Shane, his car.
Terry, I'll ask.
If you don't pay the filing fee, then it's not properly before the board, I thought.
That's what I thought too, when I guess it was wrong.
I guess we can do everything for free now, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so look at your report. You guys want
Now,
I need you to should make a motion to amend the agenda for discussion purposes.
Before we start? Or at the end?
Either at the beginning, I would do it right at the beginning, and something at the end of the meeting. You can do that so long as all you're doing is adding it for discussion purposes, and then carry it to the file
Yeah.
tomorrow.
I'm asking you. I know when Greg Lavassia was doing credit card business with somebody, and somebody said she does business, and they had to go before the ethics board. No, he wants to go together. So I'm trying to be safe. I was
Especially.
say I can't. Well, I did 3 times this week. Sporadic, but just so happened this week was 3 times. Because it's kind of convoluted. He's asking me if I can
Two decisions that came down from the
fair in making a decision, which I can.
Oh, we got it.
You follow the rule of the law. You do business with them, they don't want you to, which is kind of stupid. Because everybody in town does business with you.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't need the application.
What was it? Tell me what you. I get slow and almost as old as my buddy the other. Almost.
And I'm the one that gets picked on about all he got all the time. That's just wrong on so many levels.
Somebody else was doing it the other day. I can't think of who it was. Spy. He was no Ross Allen. Yeah, I said yes, they did.
Riverview itself. I built the place.
Really hard to
No, you did. Because I think it was Sherman at the coffee shop.
Both.
John, oh, Don,
Salesman for drugs.
LeBron. LeBron.
Did you know he was an Indian?
No.
Yes, he was an Indian. Okay, we ready to go?
Yep.
All right, at this time here, I'd like to,
Please make sure all the microphones are on, because we are streaming tonight.
all right, at this time here, I'd like to call the Common Zoning Board review to order. And I'd like to also at this time here for the secretary to take a roll.
Keith Cloutier,
Here.
Denise DeGrade,
Here.
Bob Crow,
Yeah.
Russ Lockley,
Present.
Ed Iannotti.
Okay, let the record reflect that we do have one board member missing and also an alternate missing. This time here, I'd like to point out the fire exits are to your rear, the exits to my rear taking into the building. So the two fire exits are to the rear. Also at this time here, I'd like to have an approval of minutes of September 4th, 2019.
So moved.
Have a motion to
Second.
approve. Have it seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to amend tonight's agenda to add to the end of the agenda for discussion purposes only, the two decisions that were rendered by the courts this week. I'd like us to be able, at the end of the meeting, to talk about those decisions. So I make a motion to amend the agenda.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a
Second
second
it.
on that? Okay, I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it. Thank you very much, Denise. Okay, also to move along tonight, my understanding, Riverview Nursing Home, Inc., 546 Main Street, cannot be heard tonight because we will not have a full board. One of our board members tonight has a conflict of interest. Am I correct?
That's what Mr. Iannotti has informed us, and I believe he's been provided with the recusal form, which leaves you with 4 members, which is not enough to proceed on that matter.
Okay, so if anybody's here for that tonight, that will be postponed to next month, November.
November 6th is the first Wednesday in November.
That's correct. Okay, the other one we have a problem with is Guastini, 1987, the London Turnpike. Mr. Lacombe cannot hear that one due to a conflict of interest. And again, we do not have full membership, so that will have to be continued to next month, which would be what, November?
Again, that would be the November 6th meeting.
Okay, so if anybody's here for that, that will not be heard tonight.
And one last matter, the zoning board of appeals matter for the Chattel case on Hammett Road. Because that is still has ongoing Superior Court litigation, I've been asked to continue that over to the December 6th.
December
Meeting?
4th is the first Wednesday.
December 4th meeting for that matter. It's my understanding that the solicitor is still working with the respondent's counsel to get that straightened out, and we'd like to give them the opportunity to do that.
Okay, I want to remind you, I will not be here for that meeting, so you're gonna have to either get the council to appoint an alternate, or, because we probably will be short.
We will address it one way or another. So I guess we need a motion and a vote to continue that.
So moved.
Okay, a motion's made,
Second.
motion's made and second, all those in favor say aye.
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 Nays? Ayes have it. Okay,
That was the December meeting?
Yes.
yeah, it'd be December.
Okay.
Let's see, next application we have, we need read on the record is Tattrie, 50 Indian Trail. The applicant here. Okay, the applicant's here. Can you read that into the record, the application, please?
Applicant is Josh and Elizabeth Tattrie, owners the same. Location is AP 324 lot 6550 Indian Trail. Zone is R2. Existing use is single family residence. Proposed use is same. Applicants are requesting a special use permit to construct a 6x24 deck to an existing storage building.
Okay, is the applicant here? Please step up to the podium. Okay, sir.
Yes.
I'm gonna ask you, give your full name and address.
Okay, Josh Tattrie, 15 Indian Trail.
Okay, please raise your right hand.
Sorry,
Do you swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth in front of this board?
I do.
Thank you. Okay, in your own words, please explain to me what you'd like to do.
So the lot we live on had a small summer cottage that's been there, so we're just kind of cleaning it up, and we use it for storage for all the pond stuff. We live on Johnson's Pond there. So we want to use it for storage, which we're already doing, and then we just want to put a deck on the front. We're trying to clean up the outside right now. So we're painting it, and we just wanted to put the deck on it to make it look nice, and also to use it when the kids are swimming down by the water.
Okay, the problem on this one was, originally when you constructed the house, unless I misunderstood, that was supposed to be torn down.
I think so. I don't honestly remember. My father-in-law was kind of doing all that for me because he's more familiar with it. But I
that
think
was-
that's
That was written as a stipulation when.
yeah. I think there was there was definitely talk because when we came back to do this, that was brought up to us. Yes.
Brian, can you help me out here a little bit on this one?
Yeah, no, there absolutely, the structure was allowed to stay on site while the new house was being built behind it, and then it was supposed to be demolished once the new residence was completed. At some point along the line, somebody decided to grant an administrative variance to allow it to stay, contrary to what was approved by this board. I don't think that person had the authority to do that, that it should have come back to this board for a decision on whether it should have been allowed to stay. That being said, that happened 17 years ago, so I'm not inclined to double back on a 17-year-old decision, even though I think it was wrong, and try and undo it now. But in the same breath, I'm not supportive of allowing any expansion on this structure whatsoever if it shouldn't be there in the first place.
Okay, now, what is in the structure? Apparently it was an old house.
Yeah, it's basically one big open room. There's nothing inside. It's like a shed inside. So, because there was drywall at one point, and it was all the black mold, so we just took the drywall out and stuff. So right now there's 2x4s on the inside of it, so we use it for knee boards and it's storage. We have all crap in there.
So it's basically a shed right now?
Yeah, because we have a pretty small lot, and we have no basement in our house, so storage is needed. So we store a lot of just normal stuff in there, bicycles and
Okay, so you got electricity.
yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
have plumbing?
No.
No heat?
No, because we talked to someone a while back and they wanted to make sure all the plumbing was ripped out. So whatever happened with that, whoever gave us something, they said you have to make sure all the plumbing's ripped out, has to be just for storage or whatever. So all the plumbing was ripped out from when it was a house.
Okay, so now you wanna keep this shed or the original structure?
Yeah.
And put
Well, it's just a deck going along the side of the house that faces into my yard. So we could sit on the deck while the kids play by the water or on the lawn in the front yard.
the deck's going on the house or it's going on the shed?
On the shed. We call it the little house because it used to be a little house. But it's on the front of the shed, the side of the shed, I should
And
say.
how big is this gonna be?
6x24, it's like the length of that side of the house. Just
So it's
enough
pretty good size.
long, yeah, and it's just enough so we can get like chairs on it.
Do you have it staked out so we can see it?
Yes,
6x24, it's all
Yeah.
staked out?
yeah.
And,
Do you have plans to upgrade the inside of that building?
No,
Insulated, drywall it,
no,
make it so people can sleep there on a cot in the summertime?
no, we don't have any plans for that. We're just trying to make it look nice because it doesn't look that good right now. It's pretty dilapidated.
What was all the excavation on the front of it on the street side?
We're trying to get it so we can use storage in the basement.
So 2-story, is that?
Well, there's a basement to it,
There's
yeah.
a basement to it?
Yeah,
also?
so we're just getting it so we can have access to it.
Was
we
that
would-
excavation there before?
No,
No, it's fresh.
no, we have a building.
It looks
permit.
fresh.
We have a building permit to do the work to it.
So you're gonna have storage in the basement of it and storage on top of
Correct.
it?
Correct.
So it's a full foundation
Yes.
and it'll support, so there's already currently a basement in it.
There is.
So what are you gonna do, cut out a wall, or was there
We
already
did.
a garage there?
We cut out a wall down by the road so we could get the stuff from the pond into the basement. It's for kayaks and canoes because they've been disappearing at our house. So we're trying to get all the water toys inside instead of leaving
So
them
you
out.
need both floors?
No, but it was there, so we figured we'd try to use both since we don't have a shed and we don't have a basement in our house, so we need like as much storage as possible.
Brian, can you put the picture back up of the original house?
So that's the house on the left, right? And then the little shed to the right on that bottom picture?
Yep.
And you want the deck to go on which side? The ones
The
facing
one on the
us?
bottom, it's where those bushes are,
Yeah.
is facing the lawn,
Okay,
so it'll be coming into the yard.
So you're gonna remove the shrubs.
Yes.
and that side faces the water, so that lawn goes down to the water?
No, we have the road is in between us and then the water could cross the
Oh, I
street.
see, okay.
But as you can see, it's,
There's no place to put a deck on the main house?
no, we have a deck in the main house.
You already have a deck.
Yeah, we just wanted something closer to the water if we could, that's why. Because you can see the deck's up there, it's a second story deck. So it's not convenient if the kids are swimming in the water.
Now you have a deck underneath, the second story deck?
A patio underneath.
Got a patio
Yeah,
underneath.
yep.
Any other board members have any questions this evening? Okay, this time here, I'd like you to take a seat, see if there's anybody in the audience that would like to speak on this application. Anybody for or against this application, or have any questions on the application? Okay, since we have nobody with any questions on the application, this is a very difficult application. I don't know if this is something the board would like to go out and visit, see where the deck is gonna go alongside the other decks. I don't know if this
Yeah, I
is-
would like some time to
to
look in,
digest this.
yeah.
Okay. Russ, how do you feel on this?
Well, pictures are nice, but a walk around would be a whole lot better, get a better perspective as, I mean, looking at the staff notes, it should have been taken down, and it wasn't. And we're kind of like compounding the problem. We're kind of, not compounding, we're looking at
No, you're right.
Like-
Compromise.
throwing a deaf eye to the fact that in the original, it was supposed to be taken down when the new one was built, and it wasn't. And now we want to, continue on, and that's something. So I'd like to take a look at it. I have a problem with that.
I'm
Yeah, sure, come up to the podium, please.
I'm just curious why it's an issue to have it.
Why, what?
Like, what's the issue with having it?
The ordinance doesn't allow.
Just the ordinance?
The ordinance doesn't allow to have buildings in front of you can't have an auxiliary building. in
So
front
you
of-
couldn't have a cabana or anything in the front?
No.
No matter what we call it, you couldn't have it in front?
Plus, the original it was to be torn down at the time.
Okay.
That makes it extremely difficult. All right, thank you, sir. All right, anybody else would like to?
I don't have I can't see, like Brian said, having to tear it down, but I have a problem with the expansion of it. I just think that's gonna set us up for possible future habitation of the structure.
Right, okay.
You'd be more inclined to just
to leave it as a storage shed.
Okay. Do I have a motion that we go out and take a look at this first before we run on this application? And continue it to next month,
I make a motion, we continue it to next month.
okay?
Second.
I have a motion to continue it next month and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it. Okay, this application will be continued to next month.
And it's already marked, you said it's already staked out as to where you wanna put the,
Well, I'll
okay,
make sure it's not.
okay, thank you.
Appreciate that. Okay, the next application we have, which we heard last month, was, George and Susan Lacombe on 7 Osprey Drive. Is the applicant here, please? Okay, can you please step up to the podium since we continued this? Just for the record, please give your name and address.
Susannah Lacombe, 7 Osprey Drive.
George Lacombe, 7 Osprey Drive.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you to raise your right hand. You swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth in front of this board?
I do.
I went out there and visited, looked at this, and it's an old home, an old summer. It's the typical, what was here years ago. And you're right, the home needs repair. By putting a garage over to where the driveway is, I think, my opinion, is the least intrusive you could do. I think you're gonna have to put a new DEM system, I guess, in. So that is gonna make the area better. Improvement of the house is gonna make things better. It's true, you could go up, but I think with the 2% increase, a lot, by moving the garage over, because the driveway's already there. I don't know, I mean, this is a difficult one, and I really didn't think, I mean, all these homes over there are very small.
There was summer cottages at one time.
That's
That's how
correct.
it started.
And that's apparently what this was. I think you're trying to do, I give you a you're trying to make it work, and by tearing out that small piece on the front, that's in the wetlands, I think it's a great idea. On this one here, the egress is not gonna change. The lot really is not gonna change much at all by putting a garage right where the driveway is. Off-street parking's not gonna change. You're still gonna have plenty of parking. Adequate trash, delivery, it appears to be, that's gonna be the same. Utilities are gonna stay the same. The need for screening and buffering. I think I understand that 7 feet 5 is gonna be tight, but I think that makes it so everything's open in the front and gives you more open space. So I don't think, as far as signs are not applicable to this, nor should it be permitted. Required yard open space. That's where the big thing comes in. But I don't feel, I know this could be difficult for the storm runoff, or making up more space there, but it's already that way now with the way the driveway is. So I don't think we're gonna increase the problem. General compatibility with the abutting lots. A lot of those lots are small, and some of them are big. We've got a good mix. Right across the street from you appears to be very small. And I'd say, I'd say you got a mix in the neighborhood. Compliance with industrial standards, is not applicable. General compatibility with the comprehensive plan. It's a undersized lot. It's already, small. I don't know how the board feels, but I feel that.
It's an existing lot of record.
Exactly, it's an existing lot of record.
And basically, you're gonna put the garage on top of the parking lot.
Exactly.
Right.
So I personally do not have a problem. And I think it's by their addition and their structural increase, I think it's the least, I believe it's the least impact, and it would not have a negative impact on the environment or the public health, welfare, or safety. And that would be for the special use permit. As dimensional variance, the applicant is hardship, seeking relief. It's not, what they're trying to do is not, I don't think it's an intrusion on the area. Hardship, I don't think the applicant has caused. And I don't think it's due to the, applicant is not, has any hardship from physical or economic disability. But the hardship is they are trying to make the lot much better and much livable. And it's nothing resulting of their prior actions. As far as financial gain, I just think they're trying to make it as desirable as they can for a family.
Oh, it's gonna improve that.
I think it's gonna improve the area, and I think it's gonna improve everything else.
And that spot that's closest to the water is gonna be reduced.
Right.
So that's coming away from the water, which is a benefit.
What kind of, little compromise there,
Right.
if you will.
And I agree.
Do you
Well,
have to
just to be
enlarge-
clear, this is the proposed design, so this is what they plan to have left. Nothing is coming off of this. Although they did mention that there is a section that they plan to remove.
Correct. And we're gonna hold them to it.
Yep.
Yep. And,
Is that part of their application, the removal of the part near the water?
Yeah, and I commented on that the last time that they've mentioned that, but I don't have anything in the file right now documenting exactly what is being removed.
The house has 2 stilts
I
where
saw
that goes
where
out,
they
and
saw
it's a
the
safety issue.
Yeah.
There's no real way to fix that, yeah.
Well, we make that a condition as a.
Right, but you might have to amend your application that you're gonna, remove that section. Okay?
I think they said that anyway, because it was on stilts and they were
Yeah.
gonna,
That's
what they said. Take that
Yeah,
off,
they
but I'm
said
just
that, yeah, last.
Trying to
Yep.
cover them with
Right.
the administration.
Right, we
Okay.
just need something to document it so that
Okay.
if in fact, say in the future it didn't come down, we would be able to go out and say, hey, this is the section you promised to remove and it's still there. Right now, I don't have the ability to do that.
Can we
So
stipulate
can
that?
we stipulate to that?
You could stipulate to it that it's conditioned upon them submitting a design showing
That work for you?
physically what's going to be removed, yes.
I see no problem.
Okay, I see no problems with that. And again, this is the relief granted, I believe, is the least relief necessary. I understand they could go up with it. And go up, but I almost think that would be more intrusive than what they're trying to do with just making the space by moving the garage over. I think going up would make it, I think the proposal they have is least intrusive, and I think it fits to the character of the surrounding area. I think the hardship by the owner for a dimensional variance would be more than a mere inconvenience if it was not granted. This is strictly my review of the situation. As any other board members like to speak
Well,
on?
they've got a growing family, they need the space,
Correct.
you know?
I think, I don't like having the second story either, as you get older, you kind of want to be on one level.
That was
I
that was
can't-
actually
that's-
that was our whole plan.
Yeah.
I didn't,
I can, and I see that, and I get that.
I didn't want to say anything
Yeah, I know,
towards
no,
that,
it's all
but
right.
single,
No.
floor, single floor living is kind of like the way to go now.
Yeah, doing the yard setback from 15 feet to 7.5 feet, I know it's tight, but I'd rather see that than bring it out more to the front yard. And then I think it would look very intrusive if you brought everything out further. I know the 7.5 is tight, but at least you can get a machine back there or something if you had to work in that area. The lot coverage, I don't think you're gonna, 2% more, I don't think that's gonna be tough. And I like the idea of, by enlarging it, you're gonna also put a brand new septic system. I really think that's fantastic.
Okay.
I realize you are spending a lot of economical money on this to make the improvements so you can enjoy the pond. Do I have any other input from the members? Okay, at this time here, I'd like
Motion to vote.
Motion to vote on this here.
Do you have to let him speak?
Do we have to have anybody in the audience that wants to
That's good.
speak?
I'm sorry, let me see if there's any, I'm gonna ask you to take a seat, please. Anybody in the audience like to speak on this application, for, against, or just have a question on the application? Okay,
Hang on.
oh, okay, I have one person here. I'm gonna ask you, to please give your full name and address.
My name is Steve Riley. I live at 5 Osprey Drive, immediately adjacent to 7.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you to raise your hand. You swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth in front of this board?
I do.
Okay, and what would you like to tell me? I mean, you live right next door, so this is gonna
I
be
do.
most
Oh, yeah,
intrusive on you.
absolutely. And I've been listening to you people go through it, and I applaud you for your method of doing it. And I'm here, my purpose is to just voice full support for their use. I think one of you mentioned that the way the thing started out, my parents built 5 Osprey Drive, so I've been there all my life, back and forth. And the property started out as a boathouse. That's the stilt park that you talked about. And, Doc Bowen camped there with his kids, much like they do down, or used to do down at Raymond's Point. And anyway, that's how the property grew. So I just, you've hit on all the good features to this improvement. And I just like to say, from my own standpoint, seeing that boathouse go away would improve our view, of the southerly part of the pond, which we never had, my parents never had. So, I'm in full support of,
Thank you.
Everything you people have observed.
And some of us remember when that road was all dirt, starting in
exactly.
from Reservoir Road.
I can
Eddie
te-
does, not
I
me.
can tell you all the original, landowners, and obviously with Casella, as you know, you're pointing out certain variances that exist. I mean, you can go up and down the street.
Oh, sure.
And every, I suppose all neighborhoods have it. Yeah.
So you don't think this would be intrusive on you as a neighbor?
Oh, not at all. Not at all. It'll be an improvement.
It'd be an improvement.
Oh, absolutely. you know, as you've observed, getting the house back away from the water a little bit, new septic system. You know, it's a win-win for the town and the neighborhood.
All right, I thank you very much, sir. All right, this time here, I'd like to have a motion to vote on this.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it. Okay, I'm gonna do a roll call vote.
Do you wanna add in your vote that you're gonna have it on the condition of the removal of the boathouse?
Okay, so it'd be a vote with a stipulation.
That's what I wrote.
And,
that-
and do we need two separate votes here? Cause it's a special use permit and a dimensional variance. Do we need a separate vote on each one?
Might as well.
Okay, so at this time here, I'll vote on a special use permit. For this here, application.
Actually, it's 3, isn't it?
Okay, special use, yep, okay.
Will the stipulation come under the special use or under the dimensional variance?
I think it's both.
I don't think it matters. It's,
Okay.
it's simply, it's been something that's been represented by testimony, but is not,
Okay.
in, as part of the record right now, so.
Okay,
It's our understanding that something's coming off, we just want something that defines what
clarification of
exactly
what
is
is
coming.
coming off, okay.
Okay, Keith, how do you vote on this application? For a
Approve.
special permit? Approve
With the stipulation?
Denise,
Approve with stipulation?
chair approves with stipulation. Russ,
Approve with stipulation.
Ed? Approve stipulation. Approve with stipulation, okay. On the dimensional variance. Keith, how do you vote on that?
Approve
Approve with stipulation.
with stipulation.
All right, Denise,
Approve with the stipulation.
I also approve with stipulation. Russ,
Approve with stipulation.
Ed? Approve with stipulation. Okay, and then, especially for dimensional variance,
From the setback from 15 to 7.5.
yeah, 15 to 7.5. Keith, how do you vote on that?
Approve with stipulation.
Okay, Denise,
Approve with stipulation?
I also approve with stipulation. Russ?
Approve with stipulation.
Ed? Approve with stipulation. Okay, application is approved with stipulations, okay. Next application is,
Good luck.
Barman 60 Rebecca Street. We didn't hear this last one. Was it read into the record? I don't think so.
No.
No.
Is the applicant here? The applicant is not here. Okay,
Is that what happened last week? Last week?
No, it was Tattrie. We continued it from last month because they had to renotice because they had to
but we
amend.
voted if they didn't show up this
No,
month.
no, that was Tattrie. This one did not get heard because they had to renotice due to a change in the application from not just a special use permit, but also a dimensional variance for lot coverage and parking requirements, and we had to re-advertise in the newspaper.
Okay.
So we did all this, correct?
We did not.
Oh, we did not. Oh, so this does have to be held over to next month, correct?
It's kind of strange that they're not. Should I
Are
call
they,
them?
so they're not here?
All right, let's hold this over to next month.
Okay,
All right?
can we have a vote?
Mr. Chairman,
on-
I'll make a motion, we continue the Reese Barban application to, the next meeting, November, was that the 6th? November 6th.
Second.
I have a second on that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it. Okay, new business. Please read into the record the application.
Next applicant is Joseph and Lisa Picarelli. The owner's the same. Location is AP 31 lot 25 9 Mohawk Street. Zone is R20. Existing use is single-family residence. Proposed use is same. Applicants are seeking a dimensional variance to build an 8 by 16 by 12 shed, 1 foot 8 inches from property line where 20 feet is required.
Okay, is the applicant here, please? Yeah. Can you please step up to the podium? I'm gonna ask you to give your full name and address,
Sure, Lisa Picciarelli, 9 Mohawk Street, Coventry.
sir.
Joseph C. Picciarelli,
9 Mohawk Street, Coventry.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you to raise your right hand. You swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth in front of this board?
I do.
I do.
Okay. Explain to me in your own words what you'd like to do.
We just want to build a shed that, on a concrete slab that's level with our driveway, second driveway, next to the garage, for the storage of motorcycles and snow blowers, things of that nature, so that I can have my garage back.
Okay, due to the contour of the lot, and looking around to it, doesn't seem to be any other place that you could really put this, is there?
No.
So this is something apparently that you took into consideration before you even came here.
Yes.
Okay,
We have a large leach field in our side yard, the opposite side of the house.
now is this right on the pond or
No. It's at the top of the hill.
Top of the hill.
on top of the hill? Okay.
And the house next to us is vacant.
All right.
Look at how dense it is in there.
That's right up behind Nikki's.
Yeah.
Yep.
Correct,
Oh,
near the water tower.
Yep.
Are you gonna connect it to the house or?
No. Mm-mm. It's gonna be I believe, I tried to do the measurement. It's gonna be about 3 feet from the house, because on that side of the house is our electric meter. So that was why, and then on the opposite side of the house, that whole side yard is a leach field. So we can't put anything on top of that.
Is there a concrete pad there now, or you proposing to
No.
put a concrete pad?
Yes.
Okay.
correct.
There's no rear yard.
Well, there is.
There
Yes.
is, there's a tree house, we have a pool, well, the pool fell down, but we just got a permit to put a new pool in that space. There's old galleys and our septic, our actual tank. So no matter where we go, we'd be in the same situation.
Couldn't you push the shed back, and then you'd be able to go up against the house and do this one?
Go. Well,
Bring this back here. And then you could get it closer to the house here. And be farther away from
Can I see what you're proposing?
sure.
Can I come up there? or-
Sure.
Okay. I don't wanna overstep.
How about if you just back the whole thing up till it lined up with the back of the house? Now you could put it close to the house and not worry about your electrical meter. That would give you a little bit more room on this side. There's a,
Well, I know there's a tree here.
no, we're not, we're proposing staying line.
In line
See,
with this-
see where this is now?
Yep.
Move this line backwards, right to the
Square
edge.
it off in the back.
Square it off to the garage.
Oh,
And it'll give you more room
And
the
that way you
line.
can move it closer to your house.
instead of 2 inches.
Or even possibly attach it to your house.
Oh, I didn't even know that was an option, to be honest with you. Do you know what they're saying?
I understand.
You wanna come and take a look?
No, I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
Actually have
I
a-
was, the reason that was laid out that way is because we took the measurements from the end of the driveway, so we wouldn't have to, but it does matter to add a little bit of
Will
length to the
give you a little more
driveway.
room to the property line,
Right.
because you're gonna go up against the house.
The only other thing is, that side of the house, I don't know if you'll be able to see it in the picture, I think, it kind of like slopes down a little bit right there. Am I-
That's,
Yeah,
Is that
it's
not
just
a
all,
big deal?
that'll all be excavated
Alright.
for the slab.
I would almost rather see it further away from the house than closer to the house. Only because, you know, if they have to do maintenance on the house, if they have to replace the window, if they have to replace the siding or something like that, then there'd be room to work. You know, if for some reason you have to get,
Still back it up. I'm not saying you have to touch the house, but you can get close to the house if you wanted to. Or possibly touch the, tie it into your house if you wanted to do that.
I mean,
Would that
3 feet
be a
is,
Garage then? I'm just,
No, it'd still be a shed.
It would?
The only reason I'm saying go next to the house,
Mhm.
it's gonna give them another 3 feet, so now they're gonna be 4'8" from the
Right.
property line instead of a foot.
No, I understand
You
what
know
you're
what I mean?
saying, yeah.
Or connect it right to the house. Inside them,
Right.
side it, make it look like part of the house.
Part of the house.
It's just an option I'm looking at.
Whether it's attached to the house or not attached to the house doesn't matter.
It's still gonna
This-
be closer to,
The
it's
side
still gonna be.
setback is the
yeah,
same. It's
Yeah.
still, the required setback in that zone is 20 feet.
For a house or for a shed?
20
Brian?
feet in that neighborhood, I mean, those lots are packed in like sardines, I mean,
This
you
is
know-
this is a conforming lot.
Is the 20 feet for the house or for the shed? From the
Both.
property line,
If
for
you put a
both?
shed in the side yard, it has to maintain the same
20
setback as the
The
house.
house, 20 feet?
And the setbacks.
well, are we,
for-
we're not really conforming now, correct? Is that
Yes,
20
that's
feet?
what my-
No.
No, the house is non-conforming, but the lot is a conforming lot for
conforming lot.
area and frontage.
Yeah, it's only
Okay.
12'8".
Excuse me, I'm misspeaking. It's not a conforming lot. But with the width, with the lot width at 125 feet, the side setbacks are the same as it would be if it was a conforming lot.
It's like when you showed that picture of that whole neighborhood, none of those lots appear to be 20,000 square feet.
No, they're not, but the minimum road frontage for an R20 lot is 120 feet, and you're basing your side setbacks on the width of the
On
lot.
that.
So nothing changes because this is a wide lot.
And you couldn't put it behind the garage.
No, there's a tree. There's a tree with the tree house, and then a tree behind it, and our.
So, I mean, I'm
septic
just
is-
looking at you, I was looking at your schematic here, and it looks like,
That's my drawing.
okay.
It's like
I
the-
tried my best.
The tree house is a lot closer to the house then.
Yeah. I guess.
Well, it's probably a pretty big tree,
It is a triple trunk.
yeah.
It's a triple trunk tree. So I have a question. When somebody mentioned like maybe attaching it to the house, what makes that different from like making a garage? And I'm not understanding like. if it
Nothing,
was a-
it just if you attach it to the house, it gives you a little bit more.
So would that be
Foot.
considered a garage?
It doesn't matter. It would be considered part of the house, but right now it's effectively being treated as part of
You
the
wouldn't
house
get, you
anyway.
wouldn't get in trouble.
The reason I'm asking is originally we wanted to make a second garage, and we were like, oh, that's never gonna happen.
I'd say if you wanna attach it to the house, I have no, I don't say, I don't see the board members have a problem.
As long as it stayed a shed, not a garage. You're not gonna put a,
There won't be any access from within the garage to the
okay,
shed.
but you're not gonna, are you planning on putting 2 doors on it, or a garage door, or?
2 doors.
Okay.
We have like 5 homes in that garage right now.
With all the
Good call.
combustibles in there and being close to the wooden fence and that other structure so close, is there any issues with fire, Russ, or?
Not, it doesn't fall under the code there. It's a.
You're gonna be a
single
foot away
unit,
from the,
So it doesn't really
Yeah.
fall under the.
But
code.
instead of giving 1 foot 8 inches to the fence, now the fence is the property line, I take it?
Now you're giving it 3 or 4 feet. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's-
that's what I'm
it
saying.
would be,
Almost 5 feet.
Yeah, I like the idea better because of safety wise, when you're trying to get around 2 feet to maintain a structure, it's very hard. I think it would be.
well,
much
you're
better.
using your old analogy, just as simple as painting the side of the shed, you'd have to be on your neighbor's property to do that at a foot and 7 inches, so.
Yeah.
But we've done stranger things, so. Are you open to the possibility of moving it backwards and closer to your house?
That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it wouldn't be a big deal to just extend the driveway a little bit. I don't think, I'm not really, I don't think I'd like the idea of attaching it to the house.
You don't, I'm just, get it closer, that's all.
Closer, yeah. I don't have a problem with that.
But then how close are you saying, and I'm only asking because, like, I think you brought up about, like, maintaining the house.
The house has
At
vinyl
least
on it.
3 feet.
I would put vinyl in the seam,
Yeah.
it would match the house, I put vinyl on it.
I just think it's awful tight to the fence, that 1 feet, 8 inches. I think that's really, really tight. And you're not even giving yourself much room with the 3 feet there. I got no complaints about the shed itself and everything else. It just is. You know, it makes it.
If you pushed it backwards and closer to the house, not touching it, but closer, for instance, if you decided to put grass on that side, you could probably still run your lawnmower down the side of it, because you've got enough room, as opposed to, you know,
But it could be a safety issue with a child getting caught in there, or something.
19 inches is,
That's slim.
that's pretty tight.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So what would be your recommendation?
My recommendation is like the board said, is just have it right up against the house, and that would give you, you know,
And it'll give you almost 5 feet at the
5
fence.
feet, which you know, easily maintain everything and everything else, and being right up against the house, and you're not gonna have a problem with maintenance, because it's gonna be part of the structure.
If you butted it to your house, you could take the, if you will, your paneling, siding down,
Yeah.
tie it in, and then bring it together, so the maintenance where you wouldn't be able to get close to the building is already covered, because it's not just,
I see what you're saying.
it's an option.
So like if you went on the other side of the window, like that, would that be far enough back?
That's up to you. I don't have no.
As long as you clear your
As
meters.
long as we're up.
Or you can move the
against-
meters too. I mean, everything's an expense, but actually moving meters.
Could he, and I'm just throwing it out here, could he turn the window into a door?
think that's up to him.
There's nothing that speaks to, if he's gonna attach it to the house, he can put connecting doorway through if he
Okay.
so desires.
It's
There's
just an
nothing-
idea. So, I mean, that way your window doesn't really become an obstacle.
You can get in there
It's
from the side.
incorporated inside your garage.
From inside.
Your
See that,
garage,
we're
your
making it
shed.
better for you.
No, I do like that idea, but I'm still confused as how that doesn't make it a garage. I
It-
guess you lost me.
Shed.
It's really
Garage,
just an
same thing.
expansion of the garage,
Okay,
you know?
yeah. I'm okay with that.
You seem skeptical.
No, I'm just trying to picture how I do it.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the building inspector might say about putting a connecting door through it and whether that
Well,
would
they would obviously be
entail
subjected to-
more
to-
foundation work or something like
Mhm.
that. So that might be, but certainly if they propose to connect something to the house, we could deal with the doorway issue later, whether they decide to have it or
Whether it
not.
could or could not be done.
Yeah.
All right, do you wish to amend your application? Because I feel it'd be much safer if this was attached to your existing garage.
Yeah.
Okay, so
It's
you
his
wish
shed, so.
to amend the application, so therefore you'd have, almost 5 feet on that property line. Okay,
How do we amend it?
just, you ask right now, and
You're all set.
you wish to amend,
We wish to amend.
okay.
So,
All right,
Push it back.
may I ask a question?
Sure.
Are we just putting a shed on the back of the garage?
See where the
Here,
electrical thing is?
here.
Oh, right here.
Maybe hear that? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Or there's a window over here, so either. Oh, sorry.
No worries.
See where the electrical panel is? So we'll start it after the electrical.
Touch the screen.
instead of squaring on the front.
So if you push it back to line up with the back of the house, that's gonna go back about, because the shed is 16 feet. That side of the house is 24 feet, so it's gonna go back about 8 feet. Where's the window in relation to that? Is the shed still gonna be encompassing the window? How far in is the window?
Window looks like it's in the middle.
Looks like the window's in there.
It's about in the middle, which is about 12 feet, I think.
Yeah, so it probably would be encompassed in the shed.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, at this time here, I'd like you to take a seat, and I'll see if anybody would like to speak on this application as amended. Anybody here like to speak on this application as amended? Either for or against? Okay. Do I have a motion to vote on this application as amended tonight?
So moved.
Okay, I have a motion made. Do I have a second? Second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Nays? Ayes have it. Okay, Keith, I'm gonna start with you again.
What is exactly are we
We're
voting?
amending the application, so it'll be attached to the garage, so you have approximately almost 5 feet on the property line.
Approve
Approved. Denise?
as amended.
Approve as amended.
I also approve as amended. Russ?
Approved with amendment.
Eddie?
Approved as amended.
Approved as amended.
Are we gonna need an exact, measurement of what the dimensional variance is gonna be? Because I think we're guessing at this point.
Oh, we're gonna be
Because you run into this. in the
3
past,
feet,
where the decision is made.
4 feet, 8 inches.
Well, yeah, based on what's depicted, it would be 4 feet 8 inches. If it,
Be 4 feet, 8
Yeah,
inches
4 feet 8.
from the property line.
and so, you know, when they come in for the building permit, the way I will review it is that I will expect to see a shed no larger than 8 by 16 that is attached to the house. If for some reason they decide in looking at it that they want less, that's not a problem. Where they push it back alongside the house is really not a problem, so long as they maintain that 4 foot 8 inches of
Correct.
clearance on the side.
The application is approved. As amended. All
Luck.
right. Thank you. Next application, please.
Next applicant is William and Diane Cowell, owners the same lot, AP 31, lot 111, 97 Mohawk Street. Zone is R20, existing use, single-family residence, proposed use the same. Applicants are seeking a dimensional variance to build an 8 by 8 shed 3 feet from the side property line where 5 feet is required, located in the front yard where accessory structures are not permitted.
Diane Cowell, 97 Mohawk Street.
William Cowell, 97 Mohawk Street.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you to raise your right hand. You swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth in front of this board?
I do.
Okay. In
Sir,
other words, explain to me what you'd like to do.
Sir, I have letters from my budding neighbors that I,
Please.
when I, can I,
Please submit that.
So we just rebuilt the house on 97 Mohawk, just down the road from here on the lake. Yeah, I just finished it. And part of what we were doing was we started building a shed. We kept it to 8 by 8 because I know when we built the shed at our previous house that permit-wise, as long as we stayed the 8 by 8, we were okay. We weren't aware of the variance at the time. Plus, if you look at the pictures under the letters, there's pretty much everybody in the neighborhood around us has sheds in their front. These lots, as you can see, they're pie-shaped lots. So starting from the driveway, it's very narrow, goes out. Once you get to the house, because of the septic we had to put in, there's a wall, a retaining wall,
5 feet wall.
about 5 foot wall, so, we don't have enough room on the side of the house. If we try to put a shed in the back, we're only 37 feet from the lake, so now we're up against DEM regulations. When we originally were going to do the shed, we talked to our neighbors, and one of them, as you can see, Deanne and Tony, who are the closest to us, we showed where it was gonna be. They have no problem with it. They gave letters of support. The neighbor on the other side of us, the Creelmans, who have been there for 30-something years, also gave us letters of support. If you look at the pictures that we put too, we're in the upper left, and where you see 101, that's our neighbor's house, so they actually have a shed. That's their shed, I'm sorry. The house is set back, but their shed is actually closer to the road and about the same distance from the property lines as our shed is. You can see our shed in the back. Part of it, you know, we are gonna use the same siding for the house, so it'll blend right in. We're gonna put we were planning on putting a gutter in the back, and that would drain into her garden, or I should say our garden, she tends it. You know, so that it wouldn't run off into the neighbors' yards. Part of where it is too, you know, is really the only spot. If we try to move it anywhere out from that, we start impinging the driveway, which then becomes a potential safety issue if we ever had to get a rescue in there. I'm getting older. It's 100 and some odd foot driveway. I need a snow blower. We have a snow blower. I need to be able to house that somewhere. So it really was the only option for us to do this. So we're just looking for a variance to put the shed where it is. Again, our neighbors gave letters of support that they're fine exactly.
Is that shed
where it
already
is.
there?
I'm sorry?
Is the shed already there?
That is the shed.
The shed is there. Like I said, we were unaware of the variance.
Okay.
We kept it to 8x8 because we knew that from building a previous shed, we didn't need a permit for bigger than that.
We didn't know you couldn't put it.
And we didn't know we could put it in
Now,
the
there
front
was
yard.
already a shed there before?
No, there was not. There was not a shed there before. And the shed's not finished. I mean, it's studded and the sideboards around, but it's not sided.
We-
And
we
as
stopped
soon as-
any building
As
on
soon
it.
as we found out it wasn't allowed, we did cease building.
Okay.
And the biggest reason for the 3 feet thing that I'm concerned about is that if we bring it more out into the driveway, if you look at the pictures, you're gonna be blocking the front door, in terms of a street into the house.
Right.
Which is what we were trying to avoid doing.
You have a very narrow lot.
We do.
Yeah, it's tiny. I went by it last night. There's really not a lot you're gonna do with that.
Right.
I don't know where else I would put it.
Right. And that's why, like I said, we talked to our neighbors before we did anything with it, to make sure that it wasn't gonna be a problem, and both of them gave us full support on it.
And the main reason we want it is for the snow blower, and then I garden it, so my gardening shovels.
He's gonna do that, right?
The snow blower?
Yeah, see,
Yeah,
you
I
got
do it
that.
mostly because he
Yeah,
travels
but you
for
got the
work.
bum foot, right?
That's right.
Yeah. By snow, really good.
All right. Any other questions from the board?
I don't see any alternative.
No.
No,
No, that's what I'm
it's a
saying.
tiny lot, and there's not a lot you're gonna do with it.
I know this is a difficult situation because the owners would not allow a shed in the front yard. Correct, Brian?
Correct. It says sheds shall be in the backyard except where you can put them in the side yard under certain circumstances, so.
Well, this is circumstances, but it's not a side yard, it's the front. And we have done this in the past.
Cross street from my house.
And I really don't see another option. for
Yeah,
it.
even if we went in the side yard, we'd be
No.
also
Violating.
violating. There's just not a lot of room back there.
Well, and it's lakeside property, so the front yard is really
The lakeside.
Right.
is the lakeside.
That's what when my neighbor.
No, that's not the way it works.
That's what my neighbor said.
Now we're gonna really confuse you, Brian.
Oh, no, I understand that. I hear that all the time.
Oh, the pond speak.
Yes.
I don't have a problem
Okay,
with this.
I'm gonna ask you to take a seat and see if there's anybody here who'd like to speak on this application. Anybody here just have a question on the application, for or against, or just a regular question? Okay, I see there's nobody here to speak on this application. I'd like to have a motion, we vote on this tonight.
I make a motion, we vote on it tonight, Mr. Chair.
I have a second
Second.
on that. I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it. Okay, at this time here, Keith, I'm gonna start with you. How do you vote on this application?
Approve
Approved as presented.
as presented.
Denise?
Approve as presented.
I also approve as presented. Russ?
Approve as presented.
Ed? Approved as presented. Okay. Application's approved as presented.
Good
Okay,
luck.
do we have any other, okay, the other business tonight, we were gonna discuss.
I just wanna, before we get into that, was it on our agenda? I don't think it was.
It was not on the agenda, but my understanding is they can move to amend the agenda for discussion purposes only. They can't vote on anything.
Yeah.
Would you prefer us to hold this over to next month?
Yeah,
So you have more
Thank you.
background on it?
it's not necessarily, I'm very skittish about the Open Meetings Act, and I don't like to tempt it at all.
Okay, we can just add it to the next meeting's agenda. That's not a problem.
Okay, I have no complaints doing that.
I heard some of the members
Well, we had,
mentioning that decisions had come out, and I thought they might like the opportunity while it was fresh in their minds, but not an issue. We'll just add it to the agenda for next month.
Okay, I'd
Okay.
prefer that.
do I have a motion to add this to next month's agenda?
So moved.
I have a motion, I have seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it. Okay.
Which one are you moving to next month?
The discussion about the court decisions.
The two decisions that we got from the Superior Court, Mike's Tree Service and the Correa Dog Kennel decision.
Yeah, I brought the Korea one,
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't have that one.
because I worked on that one.
Congratulations.
Well done.
Well, no, that's what
And Jane won and Nick lost. So
Yeah, no, it was you, this board that did the decision.
Now, are we gonna see Mr. Beard up here again? I don't know.
the case has been remanded back to you. So yes, yet again, we'll be seeing Mr. Baird.
My company, he's a vendor of ours and we're a vendor of his, would that be a conflict?
Yes.
Okay,
Same with me.
Oh, great. Okay.
Well, so are we gonna have a shortage for the Bears? Sorry, too?
okay,
Well,
also,
if they don't, if Ginny doesn't make it and they don't appoint another alternate,
Okay.
Who's
I
the
think we
other
still might have,
person in
because
conflict?
I am a
Me.
bordering
You.
And him.
neighbor.
And you're, so I have three of you?
No,
Two.
three,
You too.
because I'm a bordering neighbor. Unless you
You,
wanna let me go on.
well, are you within the notice radius?
Yes.
Yes. Bob is.
Well,
On
there
the
are
other side.
I'm on the other side of the river.
there are provisions, I think, to deal with questions of impossibility of getting a board
If
together
you
that
wanna
the
submit
solicitor
that to
may
the
want to.
conflict of interest board, and, get us covered.
Well,
would
I
prefer-
think the solicitor should look into what the courts have said about the situation where there's an impossibility of a board hearing something on the issue of recusal. So, we'll have to see what she responds to that. Jane, do you want to reach out to Baird's attorney or should I do that?
Can you do that?
I can do that.
Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
to carry.
Do I have a second on that? Seconded, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nays? Ayes have it. Thank you all for coming
Do we-
tonight.
For the third month in a row, is there any movement on an appointment to fill the vacancy?
I know that,
My turn?
yeah, well, we need to, cancel the stream out.